Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful afternoon here at Seattle. For friends who are new to the channel, I'm a Singaporean. So basically, I quit my stable job back in Singapore 2 years ago at a Fortune 500 company to come all the way to US to pursue my 2A MBA in hope of possibly building a career here in the US. So the past week was basically my first official week working in the US after I embarked on this journey. So it's a really meaningful week for me, and it kind of showed that I'm at least a step in the right direction for my long-term goal. Okay, I'm going to shift my camera a little because it's a bit tiring holding it up. When I first quit my job 2 years ago back in Singapore, this actually came as a shocker to most of my friends and even some of my family members. And there's actually a couple of reasons for it. Firstly, because I was working in a Fortune 500 company, so it's actually a very established organization which has a lot of promising career opportunities for me in the long run. And secondly, within the company, I was in the management training program. So I was kind of one of their focus candidate in terms of grooming for the long run. So if I stay in the company long term, I personally believe that I will have a very promising career ahead and possibly advance to senior management. And frankly speaking, Singapore is an amazing place to both live and work. And there's a lot of stable career opportunities in Singapore. So to most of my friends, there's almost no reason for any of us to consider leaving such a stable environment to other places. And some of my friends in other countries are actually even trying to get into Singapore to find career opportunities. Therefore, when I make the decision to come to the US to pursue an MBA, this is kind of a very surprising decision for most of my friends, and I don't really blame them for that. In terms of the career motivation for me coming to US, for this actually you can refer to one of my videos 2 videos ago on why I come to US to study an MBA. So back to the topic of quote-unquote living the American dream. First of all, I want to clarify that this term American dream is a pretty broad term. So it means a lot of things for many different people. The reason I name it as the title of the video is because I want to share with you a little bit more on the personal level of chasing my dream. I would say that growing up, everyone has an ideal kind of life that they want to live in the future. Be it walking down the night streets of Paris or New York, enjoying the hustling and bustling environment of a big city, or living by a beach house at a beautiful beach at a tropical country, or be it living in a beautiful farm in Switzerland with your family and kids, or even in a very cold place like Canada and Scandinavia to experience the more colder places in the world. Basically, I believe most people or even everyone has an ideal kind of life or a snapshot of their ideal life in future when they grow up. I won't dive too much into detail on what my ideal life is, but I guess you get the point. However, the harsh reality is that no matter what this ideal life that we have always wanted growing up, when we eventually graduate and step into the corporate world, many of us actually abandon our dreams due to various reasons. Be it they do not really want to take the risk and leave a very stable paying job, or they feel that such plan is not really financially feasible. It could be also due to peer influence, whereby everyone else, friends around you, are doing going a very conventional route, so you don't really find it practical to embark on something different. Or it could be even due to family and personal obligations, whereby you couldn't really have the freedom to do what you want. In the end, what happened is that many of us end up giving up our dreams and just end up living the routine life year after year, and eventually accept that life is the way it is. And maybe years later, when they look back, they end up regretting why they did not take the leap when they had the opportunity to, or why they did not take up the risk when they were younger. For me personally, fulfilling my American dream is definitely one of the main reasons why I took up such a risky move to come to the US to pursue my MBA. And definitely looking back, this was not an easy decision to make by any means. because most of my family members are back in Singapore, I was in a really good environment whereby I was in a very stable, high-paying job. Both my career and my personal life was going tremendous for me. On the surface, honestly, there was no reason at all for me to change anything that was going on for me at that point in time. However, the reality is that I always had such a dream. Therefore, at the back of my mind, I always feel that something was kind of lacking. And my mentality was that if I don't do anything to go after my dream, when I'm still young enough to take up a risk, young enough to fail, I will probably never do it. So what I personally learned from this experience is that when you have something that you always wanted to do and you are not sure whether you want to take up the risk for it, maybe one thing you can ask yourself is that if, let's say, 5 years, 10 years down the road, when you look back at this event, will you regret at all on not giving it a shot? If the answer is yes, maybe you should really do something about it. Be it entrepreneurship, venturing to a new country, or starting a YouTube channel like what I'm kind of doing right now, or even travel the world. I strongly urge if there's something at the back of your mind that you really wanted to try but you are unsure about it, just go for it. I mean, hey, even if you fail, it's fine, right? Because you are still young. You can afford to fail and start over again. Yeah, I'm not sure how many of you really resonate with my personal mentality, and seeing some of my friends these days going into entrepreneurship or going into some unconventional path that they may not have considered years before, I feel really happy for them, because despite knowing some of the unknowns and challenges moving forward, they will definitely not regret the experience that they have had. So yep, remaining of my video will be filled with some footage of me exploring South Lake Union. So don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys around.
Guys, I need to jump or I kick you all in.